Hey, what's up there? um, 10/26/2016. I will never do that again. That intro. Do I need to start? No, I'm not starting over. 11:50 is the time. So it's almost. Yeah, I'm thinking about turning this up here. Yeah, that's good. 11:51 now is the time. No, that's too loud, so we got to turn it down. Um, yeah. So, what I do today? Woke up. I came down here. I did a cover version. Well, I mean, it's only like half the song, but I did like a cover of Olive Groove. I was very proud of myself for figuring out like the chord because there's a an augmented in there. It's like it's an A augmented. It's like dun, 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 dun. I was mostly proud of myself for getting the bass line right. I mean, not that it's a challenge to listen to a bass and figure out the bass line, but it just occurred to me how well written that song is. Because it's got the dun 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 dun, and then it's dun 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 dun. It's very bossa nova. Sonoru did a lot of that bossa nova stuff, but mostly with that song, with that one Olive Groove song. Yeah. So I'm in like a nexus zone tonight. I have no idea what I'm saying. Like I'm just like talking and it's words are coming out. So I've actually been like that for the past couple of days. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like I'm in just some kind of haze funk that's I've been in for like it's like 2 weeks where I just I don't know what the fuck like is up with that. I actually felt really good today. I did some drumming to like those drumless tracks they have on YouTube that I did a couple times before like 6 months ago. But I was drumming to the drumless track. I like the most fun I was having was with the stoner rock track and with the funk rock track. Because in the funk rock track I was just doing like boom 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 like a breakbeat thing. I said breakbeat as if I know anything about like other beats. It's like the only fucking beat I know how to play. But there was this part in the drum track for the funk rock beat where it stopped for a second, like all the instruments stopped, and then like you keep playing. But there was that moment of like vulnerability there of like just being the only one playing anything. It's a good moment, like that vulnerable moment where you're just the only one playing anything, and you got to keep time while the other instruments are just completely quiet. And something I like very much about that. I'm hoping I'm making sense there, because when I was playing against the track, it felt like I was playing with other musicians, sort of, and I assumed that the track was being played in perfect time, so it was good. And I just felt like, when the instrument stopped, there was that vulnerable moment of nothing playing, and you got to stay in time. And I was in time for the, I was in perfect time. My time was really fucking good, like really just on point. And there's something about a snare drum in a live setting with other like loud instruments playing, where it's like, it like cuts through everything. Like it's doing its natural purpose. Like there's sometimes where I've had this thought in my head for like years, where like there's just something about something fulfilling its destiny. I don't know what the it's just something about the loudness of drums is fulfilling its destiny. Like its destiny is to be heard over something like a bunch of loud I wish I could describe this better than I'm describing it, but something succeeding in the wild, I think is what I'm saying. Like a trait, like like there's something that seems almost like it's impossible for like a gene trait just to work in the wild, where it's like, because there's nothing set up about the wild environment where it's like, there's rules, but it's an analog thing. It's not like, there's strict things going on that you have to, like, there's no actual intrinsic symbols to anything. It's all just a mishmash of fucking, like, just a mishmash of insanity. And, these symbols that we create in our head, they're only approximations. They're not the actual thing that's out there, like, computer. That's just a symbol for just, but, it works is the thing. And, it's miraculous to me that these symbols, and evolution uses it, biological evolution uses symbols in the same way that words are like symbols. They're like traits, and like, a fin on the fish is sort of like an evolved trait, like a word is sort of like a descriptor of something. And it's like, the fact that fins work, the fact that it works is fucking miraculous, because it's not like a set of strict rules out there. It's a mishmash of insanity. And the fact that it works is fucking crazy. I don't know how to articulate what I'm saying there, but there's just something about something working in the wild that I'm trying to, like a trait that developed that now works in a wild environment, not a controlled environment, a wild environment where the symbols are messy, everything is messy, and it works. Somehow it works. I hope I'm getting that point across, because I feel like that's important somehow. And it's just, when it works, it's like, it's just this fucking elation. There's something about the elation of something working in the wild, because the wild isn't, there's no intrinsic symbols in the wild. There's no intrinsic divisions in the wild. So, there's no simple way of getting something to work, but when it works, it's great. I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think I got that thought out. Something about the elation of something working in the wild. Yeah, so I don't know where to go from here. Yeah, I made a couple little, like, a thing last night after I did the journal entry. Like a little demo that I just wrote on the guitar. I think that's how I kind of want to do the album. Like, I want to, I don't want to, like, reveal anything about it. I don't want to spoil it. Spoiler alert. Yeah, so, I'll just skip that. I feel like when I talk, like, I'm just, like, like this point of view in my head that I just made up, that I'm just always speaking through this lens of some character that I made up in my head. I don't know how to see. These are very difficult things to describe, but, like, it's like, you can never, like, portray yourself as anything but, like, a character. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm saying, but it's just, it takes a lifetime to get to the root of the fucking thing. And I'm nowhere near the root of me yet, so it comes out as being like an approximation of what I think it is. That was a very weird throat clearing thing. Yeah, so, it's like, it's always just these approximations, I think is the theme of this journal tonight. Approximations. Because, something working in the wild is just an approximation. Or, things are just approximations. They're never like, I don't know, I'm tired. I took a Benadryl like a half hour ago, and so I'm, like, tired now. And Benadryl, like, affects me more than fucking Valium does. And, I just kind of feel like laying in bed and sleeping right now. And tomorrow I'm going to eat salmon for dinner and, like, Brussels sprouts and, just good eating. Good eating. No more shit eating. I'm trying to like develop a habit of. See, I don't want to call it healthy eating because that feels like a chore. When I don't feel like it's a chore. Avocados are fucking awesome. Salmon is awesome. Brussels sprouts. These are things that I enjoy eating. It's not like a chore to eat them. So, all right, I'm done. Goodbye. Goodbye. That was a mean sounding goodbye. I swear to God, I'm not trying to sound that way. Or, maybe it was only that way. Mean is a bad word. I don't like that word. I actually don't like this ending. Okay, let me just cut my losses here. Goodbye.